Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the economic calendar, the money market funds. We're going to see where those are sitting. Then we're going to go and take a look at some Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin. We're also going to take a little bit of a look at XRP. We're going to look a little bit at Palantir. Those have been very interesting right now. So let's take a look at the economic calendar. So today, the employment rate and employment report and unemployment rate came out. The unemployment rate held at 4.2. So it's the same as that's the expected. It came in as expected. That's not the previous. That's the expected. So it is ticking up. This is a metric that is going to make the Fed sweat a little bit. So as you probably know, full employment is 5%. So we're not really anywhere near territory of recessionary unemployment or anything at 4.2. We're actually over full employment technically, but it is ticking up, and that does make the Fed sweat a little bit. They don't particularly like that. You can also see, though, and this is conflicting, we've got the employment report came in with more jobs than expected, with 227,000 jobs compared to 214,000 expected, and hourly wages year over year increasing at 4%, which is 0.1% higher than expected. So the job market is still hot, even with the unemployment rate ticking up for the month. Okay, that's something to keep in mind. We also have a hawk on deck here with Bowman. Goolsby, I think, is a dove. I don't know Hammock or Dolly, those two. So we've got 4 Feds speaking today, so expect some shenanigans. Bowman already spoke, so that's already in the books there. And let's see. And in about half an hour, we're going to get Goolsby. So that's going to be important. Consumer sentiment, that's also going to give us some moves in the market here. So if we see some shenanigans later in the market, it's likely the Fed's talking, because the data for the day is already here. So their opinions of those 3 Feds upcoming for the rest of the day are going to cause some waves potentially, if they are of any controversy at all compared to what we're expecting in a market. Okay, so if you see anything crazy, the Fed probably said something crazy. All right. Let's go take a look at the money market funds. Where are we at right now? So on the 4th, let's see. We have actually been increasing. Both have been increasing. That's interesting. Went from 6.675 trillion to 6.771 trillion dollars. These money market funds are still growing. That is interesting. I don't know what the heck that is. Okay, go away. That is very, very interesting. Meaning there is almost $7 trillion on the sidelines here. Almost 7 trillion, and institutions are gearing up here for a lot, right? It's up $100 trillion from $100 billion from 2 weeks ago. So that's very, 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 very interesting to see that go on here, especially with the Santa Claus rally coming up real soon here. We got about the 2 weeks. It's either the 2 weeks leading into or after Christmas is the Santa Claus rally. We see this dip from 4.077 trillion to like 4 trillion. That's $77 billion injected in like a couple of weeks. We see something like that here in the next week or two, Winlow, that it has happened, and that it may slingshot a little higher. And that's what we're looking for. You can see that retail has been pretty consistent in cashing up, and in institutions, They have been recently as well, but they also have dipped into those reserves to get into some stocks here over time. So we are still not super concerned about the market overall. I know people keep calling recession, but even if there is like a recession, I don't know how long it's going to last with $7 trillion on the sidelines waiting for a dip. So that's why I'm not super concerned, and I tend to be buying the dips. Mara right now. So we're going to look at Mara. Mara is my play right now. I've been buying Mara calls. So I started buying Mara calls all the way down at 24. I bought them up to 26. I bought one yesterday on the dip at 24 again. And 24.80-ish. And we're looking for it to hold this 5-day moving average. It holds this 5-day moving average. It has room to move back up to $30. Okay, we lose the 5-day moving average, meaning we close below it and we open below it and we stay below it the whole day. Then we're coming to the 21, which is at 23.69. And you know what I'll do at 23.69? I'll buy one more call. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I am doing this because I expect Mara to return to the mid to high 30s here by the end of the year, because Bitcoin, I don't think Bitcoin is done yet. Okay, that's that. Riot. Let's take a look at Riot real quick. Riot is up 4% today. It came all the way as high as $16 and kind of sold all the way off to the 21, and now it's trying to bounce back up again. Riot, we're watching that 21 at $12. So as long as Riot holds $12, it will likely find its way back up to 15 and potentially even $16 to $17. Okay. Right, it's already reached the highest area I was expecting it to for the year, is up here, and it sold off from there. Let's see if we can get back up to $15 and see if maybe it'll go a little higher. Maybe will beat my expectations. We'll see here. IRN is another one that is getting closer and closer and closer to my expectations. If you remember, I called it a top back here in July. Came all the way down to $6. I bought all the way from $9 to $6, and I've just been holding it on the way up now. I did sell a little bit here on that 30% up day. I kind of wish I hadn't, because that was all the way down. Let's see. Yeah, that was all the way down at, like $11, $12, and now it's at like 15. But oh well. We're looking for it to get up and above $15.90. I do still think this thing has legs up to $17, $18, maybe even $19 for the year. That's what I'm looking at for IRN right now. CleanSpark is up 4.5%, while the warrants are actually down 9%. So that's interesting. I would expect the warrants to go up tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Saturday. Next week, I would expect that out of the CleanSpark warrants. Right now, again, CleanSpark, we want it to hold the 21-day moving average, which is at 1384. As long as it's above that, we are expecting it to continue up. If it breaks that, we've got the 200 to catch us down at 1219. And that is basically the levels right now that we're looking at. I've also got a fib running on here, which would correspond with 1286, so I wouldn't be surprised if the 200 caught us at like 1286 at the 618. And if things really deteriorated, we would have support at the 786 down at what is that, 1170 something? No, 1146 for CleanSpark right now. We need to get above this yellow trend line right there. We got to get above that. We got to get above $15 too. So $15 is our mark. We get above 15, we've got hopefully room back up to 18. I'd really like to see this thing get up and over 18. It feels suppressed. Bitfarms. I'm going to talk about Bitfarms real quick. Bitfarms sold all the way down to the 200-day moving average. I kind of expected a thing like that. It did at one point dip under $2. It is struggling right now. I do think that when the average force on Bitfarms turns around, we'll probably see this thing take off and go for $3 or $4. But right now it is still looking a bit weak, especially compared to some of its peers right now. So we really need to see the price action come through. It's got to get up and above 230, and then I'm very bullish on it. But below that, I think it might ride the 200 continually until something changes. Bit Digital is riding high off of Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum has been taking off, and that's been bringing Bit Digital with it. You can see it came down, hit the 200, and now it's just dragging itself back up. Again, it's getting close to the area I was expecting, right? I was expecting like $7-8 here. It got to 576, it looks like, and I'm looking for it to go like another $1 higher than that, and then I'd be offloading some of my Bit Digital there for the year. Wolf is up 9% today. What's going on with Wolf? Wolf is up 9%. It's up in the red here. This is looking very, very much like Bit Digital in terms of how it's running up. That's very exciting. Right now, Wolf is above where it needs to be, and average force is going the right way. Everything on the momentum is pointing the right way. Wolf looks like it's prepared to continue on up as long as it holds the 5-day moving average. Hut was crazy the last couple days. It's up 6% again. That is nuts. Again, Hut, I would be watching it as long as it's up above the 21-day moving average. I'm very bullish on it. As long as it's above the 5-day moving average, it's going to continue to carry on in an aggressive manner. Let's take a look here. Did Hive ever break that line? It did not. It did not. So we're waiting for Hive to break this line. That's when Hive gets interesting. Until then, I'm not interested. MicroStrategy, let's talk about that real quick. I know I didn't mention it, but let's talk about that right now. It came down to the 21, which is great, and it bounced. And now it's at the 5, and it's holding the 5. As long as it holds the 5, MicroStrategy is fine, and it will continue to climb up. Okay, it's going to hold the 5, take some time. If we lose the 21, though, MicroStrategy is going to get real scary real fast, and we might see it go into the 200s again if we lose the 21-day moving average. So keep that in mind. But as long as we're above the 21-day moving average and we're holding the 5, I'm not concerned. Okay, once we lose the 5, we'll come to the 21. If we lose the 21, then I get scared. Okay, that's how that is going. Bitcoin making another run for $100,000. So Bitcoin did this. Look at that. And it's done this before. Okay, it has done this before. This was your, $12,000 candle. It went up to like 103.6 and came all the way down to 92. So it was like an $11,000 candle right there. That took out longs. It took out shorts and then came back and took out longs. Okay, it knifed everyone both ways. And it's done this before. Was it here? No. We did an all-time high. It was real recent too. I can't remember exactly where it was, but it was like in a 1 hour time frame. It just swiped both longs and shorts in the same day in like the same hour. And if we go down to like a 2 hour, you'll see that it did that yesterday too. Yeah, and so we went all the way up, came down, boom, and that went for a couple hours. It stayed up for a couple hours, and then just all the way down to 92, and then right back up again. Just absolutely wiping out everyone, liquidating everyone in both directions. That's what Bitcoin's good at. Especially now that there are options associated with the ETFs, hedge funds can now mess with you Bitcoin. So be careful of that. We're coming up on 100,000 again. We may cross $100,000 again. This was the scary part. This was the part to scare you, and then boom. So we came up right to 100, dipped, went over 100, scared the bejesus out of everybody, and then came right back up to $100,000, and we might cross that again today. This is still a very exciting time, and again, as long as we're holding the 5-day moving average, I'm not concerned about Bitcoin. And even if we lose the 5-day, as long as we're holding the 21, like we did here yesterday, as long as we're holding the 21, I'm not concerned about Bitcoin. We lose the 21, that's when we come back down 25%. That's how that is going to go. All right, now let's take a look at XRP. I've been getting some questions about XRP lately. XRP had this wicked run up. If you were in it, congratulations. I applaud you. If you didn't take any gains, I would question you. So it went up 481% in a matter of weeks. Okay, 481%. If you put in $100 into XRP back in late October, you would have $481 now. Okay, that is a lot. That is a lot of gains. That is where I would take gains. Okay, what are we looking at here? What are we trying to see? So I'm actually seeing a pattern I've seen before. I've seen this on IREN. So let's go back to IREN. So keep this in your mind right here. This particular run up goes up, flat, up, spike, back down to the 5 in a dramatic way. Let's go look at IREN. I've seen this pattern before. See if you can spot it. Give it a second. Let me turn this off so we can look. Okay, see if we can spot it. Yep, it's right here. Right here. Okay, that pattern right there. We came up, went flat, came up, went flat, came up, did a little flag, and then up again before we did a bigger flag, before one more top up, and as soon as we went under that, drop. That's what I'm looking at XRP right now. So right now I'm looking at XRP in that way. It came up, went flat, and now it's doing that retracement where I would expect it to potentially come back up, maybe even eclipse this high here at 292, 293-ish. And then from there, if it comes back down and goes below 217, I would expect it to fall potentially all the way back down to the 786 here, which is at $1.63. That doesn't mean it's going to happen right now. That doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. It doesn't mean it's going to happen next week. In fact, with Bitcoin rallying and everyone getting excited about a Santa Claus rally, I would not be surprised to see XRP come up, go above peak above $3, maybe come close to the all-time high, which is a very consistent theme in crypto, coming up to the all-time high, failing there, and then coming for a final drive higher. That is a very expected thing. Now, that could be what happened here. We came close to the previous all-time high, failed, and then we're going to drive higher to it now, go over it potentially, and then dump again, just like Solana did. If we come over here, Solana has been flirting with 260 for a really long time. 260 was the previous all-time high. We came up to it, right? Fell a little bit, flagged, came up, over it, dumped off pretty significantly. And we've tried to run for this high before, like back here, we went for like 210, barely got over 200. It's been a really long time, and then we dumped off real hard, all the way down to almost $100 afterwards. So could that happen? Yeah. Yeah, Solana's actually looking really good right now. It gets over 247. I'd expect it to go for the all-time high again. But XRP right now, yeah, XRP, that's what I'm looking at. And then let me dig into some 1 hour chart here to get a feel for what's going on. So the fact that it broke this line, though, I like that. And the fact that it's got a triangle forming right here, I also like that. So if XRP can get above $2.40, I would say that it's going to go for that second peak before selling off. If XRP loses $2.22, I'd be looking for it to come back down to the 5 right here, which is at $2.09. 9 cents. If we lose the 5, I'd expect to come back down to this structure at the 618, which is at 190. Okay. So that's what we're watching. 222, as long as it's above 222, I'm feeling pretty safe about it, especially as it's coming off of that aggressive downtrend, right? Because now we have a new downtrend, which is over here, this one, that one right there, okay? And if we get up above, say, 240, I would be expecting it to make a higher low. And if it makes a higher low after going over 240, then I'd say it's going to likely make another peak. So watch for that. Above 240, we're looking for a higher low and then the new peak. Below 222, we're looking for 209 and potentially 190. Okay, so that's XRP. Let's take a look at Palantir now. Palantir has been on an absolute tear. It's a crazy thing. It cannot be stopped. Look at this thing. It hit $75 right now. 75. I was buying this thing at $23. It's at 75. It hit 75 today. It went up to 75.62. This thing won't stop. It will not stop. I'll tell you when it will stop, though. It will stop when this line here is broken right there. As soon as that line breaks, that's it. It's done. As soon as that line is done, breaks, it's going to come all the way back down to probably $58. And $58 is where I would absolutely recommit. Actually, I'd probably recommit, honestly, right at 60. Boom. I'd start selling puts for $60. That's what, so it breaks this line. We're coming back to 60. It taps 60. It's probably going to launch again. So let's take a look at the moving averages for Palantir, because I'm sure they are just absolutely insane. Oh, wow. Actually, we're not even in the FIB cloud yet. Look at that. We went sideways long enough and for the FIB cloud to go all the way up to what? $86. That's insane. Yeah, so I'm watching that. And that would be the 200-day moving average, this line. So if it ever loses the 200-day moving average, boom, we're coming all the way back down to like 60-ish on this thing. And as long as it's over the 21, which is at 70, 75 right now, which is insane. Yeah, it's just going to keep on trucking up. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to look at today right now. Soon we'll be looking at some of the, so the end of the year is coming up. I want to look at all my wins and losses. I've had multiple 100% baggers. I've had multiple not so good ones, but my wins have significantly outweighed my losses, which is what you want to see. Not everyone's going to win every time, but you just want to win more than you lose. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Don't forget about the sticker shop. That link is also in the description and channel bio. Have a profitable day.